Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Today we are going to take a look at my budget planner for the week of May 12th and then do a quick review of last week and talk about how my budget went. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So we are in the month of May. This was my first, I guess the first full week in May. I feel like I've gone over everything else in the setup of May, and I have a few videos about the setup, so you can go back and watch those if you'd like. But yeah, as always, the first week of the month is a very busy week of the month for me when it comes to paying bills and expenses, because most, like 75% of my bills are due at the beginning of the month. I have maybe, out of all my bills, maybe 2 or 3 are due toward the end of the month. And so it just makes this period a very hectic period. And I'm constantly like making my budget, adjusting it, changing it, and all those things, just because that's when most of my bills are due. But May 5th, I actually had a lot of expenses. As you can see, I had to put one of my extension sheets in my planner for the week. But I came in and I listed all of my expenses as I made them. I did my color coding. So just a lot of bills that I had to pay. I also had a lot of home expenses because I am making some adjustments to my craft room. Not big adjustments, but just a few things. I did a craft room tour video, which is a great video. I think it's a great video, but it's about how I set up my craft room for less than $500. And I love my craft room. It's very functional, and I don't have too much stuff in my craft room. But in that video, I said that one of the things I wanted to kind of adjust or upgrade was my paper storage system. So this week I actually but I was buying some additional items to go into my craft room. I bought a storage shelf thing, whatever, with a door on it to store my paper so that all my paper is not just out. And I bought a couple of new clear plastic paper trays that are just 8.5 by 11, because I had some 12 by 12s from We Are Memory Keeper and Hobby Lobby, and I love those, but they were taking up a lot of room, and I was only actually storing 8.5 by 11, so I don't need 12 by 12 like I thought. And so I just wanted to kind of streamline it. So anyway, I did a couple of purchases that I normally wouldn't have on here because I had to buy the shelf and the new paper trays. I had a really busy week just at work and working on my business stuff. So I ate out a couple of times. I bought dinner for my parents a few times. So my dining out budget is really over budget because of that. Let's see. But other than that, it's basically bills. Wherever you see this orange stuff, that's bills. Everything else is just, regular variable spending. But on the left-hand side of my weekly budget, that's where I keep track of my digital envelopes. So each of these boxes represent like a digital envelope because I use a digital cash envelope system. Digital envelope cash. I don't know. I don't do cash envelopes, but I do it in a digital environment. That's what it is. So this works the same way as if each box was an envelope. I put my total just as if I had an envelope and I was stuffing money in there. Instead, I put my total and I transfer that amount of money to my variable checking account, my digital envelope checking account. And then during the week, I'll spend out of that checking account. That's how it works. Pretty straightforward. But I pretty much was right on track with groceries. I actually have some money left over from my personal spending. Same with entertainment spending. I was a little bit over with transportation because I needed gas more than I thought. Well, no, let me be real. I actually forgot what my budget was. And so when I went to the gas station, I put $25 instead of 20. Yeah, it happens. I went over on eating out. And then my hobbies. I definitely went over on hobbies because I bought a lot of books. Not sticker books, like reading books. I bought a lot of books, and I did buy some sticker books, but primarily that going over is about some of my book purchases. I also bought some sticker books and planner supplies because there are a couple of releases this week that I did purchase. And so when I get those, I will do a haul. But I did purchase Kelva Plan's mental health release. So excited for that. I cannot wait to get that. And I did purchase some of Live Love Posh's faith release. So super excited about that as well. But that's how the week of May 5th went. Lots of spending, lots of playing catch up for the first week. I would say in general, my planner is still working very well for me as I go through quarter two. This is, May's the second month in quarter two. There are still a few adjustments I'm going to make, and I'll talk about that at the end of this video as we get to quarter three. So let's take a look at what I have set up for next week. This is May 12th. Nice, clean sheet, as you can see. So the week of May 12th, I set my weeks starting on Monday. So I just come in, put the date here, and then I decide how much I'm going to spend in my cash envelopes, my digital cash envelopes. So I bought a lot in groceries last week. I shouldn't have to spend $75 this week in groceries, so I'm only budgeting $50. Personal, same. I had a lot of personal expenses, so I'm only budgeting $10. I had some left over from entertainment, so I'm budgeting nothing for entertainment. I don't anticipate having any entertainment. This is going to change. I only budgeted $10 for transportation, but my parents are actually driving my car because my father had a car accident in their car. Everything is okay, but they were like trying to take a vacation, and it was like the day before. That's why I ended up buying dinner for everybody. But we changed cars, basically. I let them drive my car on their road trip, and now I'm driving my dad's truck. And so, whereas I would have only had to put in $10 in gas on my little car, now I will need to put much more than that. And I don't know how much it'll be. We'll see. But eating out will be about $15 as well. And since I bought so many planner supplies last week, I am trying to keep my planner supply purchases to zero this week. So this is a little habit tracker that I have on the dashboard every week, and you can use it for whatever habit you want. I tend to use it for no spend. So my no spend for this week, I'm going to try to make that be planner supplies. And I don't have too many bills coming up for the week of May 12th. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, that is what my budget planner looks like. Let me talk a little bit about some of the things that are still pending for me for the month of May. I've said this in like every video, so you can see kind of how slow I am for the month of May getting everything caught up. But I still need to do my travel budget for my vacation that's coming up in July. I need to do a mini budget for my vacation for Memorial Day. I've kind of done it on this scrap piece of paper, so I'm not that stressed out. That's not a long vacation. That's just a couple of days. But this is like 10 days, the one in July. So I'm still kind of in research phase is why I haven't filled this out. Turn this page. I'm still in research phase, basically. So I'm still trying to figure out where exactly, like what activities I'm going to try and do on that vacation, which would identify where I'm going to stay, what type of hotels I'm going to stay in, things like that. So since I don't have all of that, I can't quite do my full budget. I have done like an initial budget but not an actual full budget. So that is still pending for me, and I need to get that done in May. Another thing that I wanted to show you during this video is how I pre-plan. I actually come in and I do pre-plan for sometimes the whole month, sometimes a month and a half, just on note paper, and I'll just stick it in the back of that month. The reason I do that is I like to forecast what is coming up for me. So it's always helpful, guys, to have note paper in your budget planner. I have changed those pages like 4 or 5 times already in quarter 2, because, you know, you need to adjust when things happen. So like I think I said back in April, you know, we had a big appliance expense that I had to pay. And so that was a lot. So that adjusted my whole upcoming like months of how I saved for that, and things that I had to pay and when I was going to pay those things. So I always like to keep some pre-planning sheets in my budget. So just a tip from me to you. The other thing I want to mention is I am actually getting ready. I am getting ready to start updating this planner for 2026, believe it or not. Q3 is when I'm going to do planner updates and roll them out the end of Q3 for the 2026 budget planner. If you didn't know, these inserts are available. Currently they're on Etsy. I think probably before 2026, I'm going to transition to an independent site. But right now they're still on Etsy. And if you're interested in this budget planner, the inserts for this budget planner, you can definitely get them on Etsy. However, for me, Q3 is where I'm going to start updating pages and updating the planner, really getting it ready for 2026. And so I am testing some different layouts for paycheck budgeting and cash flow and things like that. Currently, I use this mini budget system for my cash flows, and it has worked very well for me. But that was when I was really using my business income weekly, and now I'm not using my business income weekly. So I find myself struggling a little bit to keep track with that 4-week grid. So I'm testing out a 2-week grid for cash flow, and I'm gonna see how that works. See if I need to include it in the 2026 version of this budget planner. But yeah, so that's where we are with budgeting for the week of May 5th going into the week of May 12th. Just want to say to you guys, if you are starting your budget journey, don't let anything hold you back. Go ahead, dive into it, jump into it. You don't need all the fancy things to do a budget. You really just need pen and paper. But if it's something that you're interested in, definitely get started, and you can refine it as you go along. So happy planning, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a great day.